for that. That's a YouTube thing.
All right, go recycle it, go back to the other stream, and see if it's up and running now. Because I just ended the stream and restarted it. Please, sir.
So I know 800 times you've not wanted to capitalize MAGA, but do you want to capitalize MAGA? There we go. Yeah, we're here.
Yes, sir. All right, we're back. We're back!
So I know 800 times you've not wanted to capitalize MAGA, but do you want to capitalize MAGA? There we go. Yeah, we're here, sir.
All right. Refresh your stream.
800 times you've not wanted to
I just yelled it in everybody's ear.
We all back.
Well, Buck, I don't know. I guess Rumble had a glitch. We had to stop and restart the whole stream. That kind of just took the sail out of my wind. We don't have anybody on Rumble. Anybody on this? So we've got 3 people on X watching.
Yeah, it's
me, you, and Irene.
Probably. Probably.
Me, you, and Irene.
Let's see.
All right, so just to kind of get back to Joe Kent, he said that we needed to wipe out the bullshit.
Just we got 1 on Twitter.
Well, that's wild because we're at 4 and I have nothing anywhere except me.
Let's see here.
That must be the other 2 Rumble admins watching it, just to make sure I don't say that vaccines for children are 100% safe and effective.
This guy's funny.
All right, so in the other stream, we were explaining how Joe Kent had said that the missiles had to be wiped out for Iran before he, quit, and then told everybody that, he was being prosecuted by the Trump administration. And realistically, he wasn't being prosecuted by the Trump administration. Well, he was. But before he resigned, for leaking and quite possibly being
a Trader Joe.
Trader Joe, yeah, I was headed that way. You beat me to it.
I didn't know you were going there.
That's all right. That's all right. It was technically your fucking joke. But I was going to slide on in there and take it.
Slide. Whoa. Pause.
The joke. Don't pause. Say the joke.
Pause.
So then we looked up what exactly, well, in military terms, wipe out means neutralize a country's ballistic missile. And it almost always requires kinetic action.
Always.
Mobile launchers, underground missile cities, production factories, and the technical know-how. Without bombing or direct strikes, it's not going to happen. And Iran showed us that they could hit Diego Garcia, which was 2,400 miles away. So their missiles can hit Paris, they can hit London, they can hit France, they can even see your underpants. Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, you did that. It was going there. It was going there. It was a natural.
It was a natural progression. Trying to figure out why we only have 3 people, but we got 6. Everybody here, leave a comment, hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow. You want to see this stuff.
You want to.
Why bombing or equivalent strikes is the main tool. Iran's ballistic missiles are mostly mobile or hidden in hardened underground facilities, mountain bunkers, or tunnels, produced in dispersed factories that can be rebuilt, often broken down into parts and smuggled to proxies for reassembly. Experts, including the U.S. and Israeli analysis, the Jews are controlling us, agree that air power is the primary method used in the practice. So to wipe out Iran's ballistic missile capabilities, we would have to do
what we did.
Exactly what we're doing. That's wild. Precision airstrikes by fighters, bombers, or cruise missiles.
So this was all supported by Joe Kent until he thought it was the Jews all of a sudden.
Yeah. Or until he was busted for leaking, trying to get out in front of it and make it look like he's just being prosecuted immorally by the devil, Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Drone and satellite reconnaissance. Even though full elimination is extremely hard, airstrikes can destroy visible or known sites, but not every hidden missile, nor every blueprints expertise will be killed or hit. In short, Kent's 2020 call was understood by most readers as advocating targeted military strikes, bombing key infrastructure in response to the Iranian regime aggression. That's it. There's no more conversation. He's full of shit. He's a full of shit liar that was worried about going to jail and wants to make it look political. That's what it is. And anybody out here that's standing up for him, not on the merits of what he did for the country, but on what he's doing right now, you're standing up for a fucking liar.
Straight up.
There's just no way around that. And, you know, it sucks because he is a decorated war hero. It sucks because he's gone through a lot, losing, pretty sure his wife and his kids are dead.
Yeah. So what's some tragic story behind that, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Look up what the tragic story is. While you're doing that, I'll be right back. But the fact that everybody's out here like, oh, he's a war hero, but none of them are looking at the facts is just obliviously wild to me.
That's how liberals do, though. They
I just don't understand.
Repeat shit they don't research. All right, let's see here. What happened to Joe Kent's family? Famara.
I just don't understand why nobody sees what he's actually doing. He's trying to make it a mockery of the system and all the liberals by going, hey, look, guys, I'm on your side now. Donald Trump, the evil dictator, is trying to get me because I'm on your side.
So his wife was killed in a suicide bombing in Syria.
Oh, wow.
Let's see. I think it was it.
It was just his wife?
Yeah.
I mean, I say that. I don't mean it that way. Like, that's,
okay, yeah.
That can take its toll on
She was also a soldier, so I mean,
well, you know,
not that makes it any better, but you kind of sign up for that. Well, she was a Navy senior chief cryptologic technician.
Oh, she's a crypto.
Yeah.
So she dealt in the secrets.
Yeah. She was killed in a suicide bombing.
But at the end of the day, in short, Kent called advocating for targeted military strikes in Iran, which is exactly what's going on right now. You know, it's one of those things where your tweets don't ever disappear. You can't make them go anywhere. Once you say it on the internet, you said it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can sit here and go do some whataboutism like, well, maybe he changed his mind. And that's all well and good. But did he change his mind after we struck the Iranian nuclear facility?
No.
Or after he was being investigated by the FBI? You know, he goes on Tucker Carlson and he makes accusations that the United States is under control. I'm sorry, he didn't make any accusations. He said, I'm not saying Israel did it. Just implying the shit out of it, talking about them controlling us and pushing us through, insinuating that the Charlie Kirk assassination was fumbled by the FBI and he was forced to shut it down, when realistically, and you don't have to like the facts, but that doesn't change them from being the facts.
Right.
Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. That happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? He did it in a lone wolf style. His own words have said so. He confessed to it. His DNA and fingerprints are on the rifle. He was at the scene, jumping off the roof of the building where the shot came from. That happened. They went through all of his, and he actually insinuated, well, I don't remember if this was this one or the Trump assassination attempt, that other countries were involved, but there's no proof of that.
Mm-hmm.
There's none. And if you have the proof, Joe Kent,
yeah, exactly.
Present it. Like, show us.
Yeah, if you're so worried about it.
Like, if it's that, if you can prove it, don't do some whataboutisms, or as Dan Bongino says, some gatekeeping. Produce the evidence, because we want to see it. We want to know if what you're saying is true.
Yeah, if it's such a pressing issue, you'd think he'd share it.
Yeah, but he didn't. Instead, he just left into windows and.
What did Bongino say? That's the mark of a moron.
Yeah, because it is. Only an idiot comes out and goes, "This is happening, but look over here, I can't prove it."
Yeah, he's
And then bringing Charlie Kirk into it too. Like, that's horse shit. It is. You're absolutely correct. Because that man, whether you agreed with him or not, he didn't make you feel like he didn't make people look like a complete piece of shit.
Right.
Even if it was like, oh, well, let me take you to school. It wasn't like, you fucking moron, I can't believe you said that.
He was usually pretty respectful. Actually, always.
He was always respectful. Like, so to drag Charlie Kirk into this, like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. You're doing it for fucking clicks on a Tucker Carlson podcast. Period. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't mind some Tucker Carlson podcast clicks. You know, like maybe a tenth of them.
Yeah, he pays out for that kind of shit, too.
But we're not on here spreading bullshit. We actually look up what we talk about. We have very valid points and facts. It's intentional.
I started wondering about Tucker when he took that trip to Russia and was like, Russia is amazing. Why don't we do it like Russia? I'm like, well, it's because they're fucking Russia.
I was still kind of blinded by it, because you think about Russia, like, and the way he was describing it, it's a Judeo-Christian kind of thing. Russia. He was showing that their groceries were full and they were cheaper and all this stuff. And it was kind of like, but at the end of the day, it's run by Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, well, and like Russia's
known for disinformation.
They were someone doing Tucker's job there, they would be snatched up and fucking executed.
Matter of fact, don't they still have like a Marine or something like that?
I don't know. Probably.
There's no credible public evidence that it's ever emerged that linked Israel, Mossad, or any foreign government to the shooting of Charlie Kirk. Okay? It doesn't exist.
Right.
It doesn't. Kent implied Israel's involvement without proof, which echoes the classic Israel did it.
Israel did it.
Like, that's what he's doing. It's just a go-to. The establishment facts point to Tyler Robinson as the shooter, and there's no verified Israel link. Kent's comment have sparked intense backlash and accusations that he is pushing fringe conspiracy theories. But what else is he trying to do other than get the eyes off him after the government already started looking into him about leaking top secret information to somebody?
Yeah. We
don't know who. They haven't released that. We don't even know if it's 100% true. Like, full stop, for disclosure.
Yeah.
Because it is innocent until proven guilty. But at the end of the day, there was enough that they pulled him out of the presidential daily security briefings. Which is a big deal for, what was he, counterterrorism director or something like that? Like, it's not like he was like the press secretary. Like, no offense to her.
Yeah, director of the National Counterterrorism Center.
Yeah, like, the FBI quickly declared it a lone gunman case. Tyler Robinson handed over to the Utah authorities. Kirk had been under pressure from pro-Israel donors and was publicly shifting against deeper U.S. involvement in the war with Iran. There's no proof of that. that was something that Kent said, Charlie said in the back room of the East Wing where nobody else was around.
No corroboration on that.
If you have proof, prove it, Joe. That's a fact. Ain't no joke. I ain't kidding. Like, come on, Joe. If you can prove it, prove it. Because we would all love to see your proof that Israel's doing this. You don't have it because it's the same bullshit that this young generation is falling for with the propaganda that Israel somehow controls America through money. But those are the same people that don't talk about the pharmaceutical companies donating billions of dollars when they're comparing it to millions from Israel. I mean, you have a better argument to say that American politicians are laundering money through Israel, through donations, just to have it donated back to them, than to tell me that a bunch of Jews control America. Because that's what the younger generations believe. Now, number one, it's anti-Semitic as hell.
Yeah.
But number two, where is that propaganda coming from? Is why is it the younger generation? And could it be targeting propaganda? I mean, you made a good point on, I bet this is how Germany started.
Yeah.
And that was
Nazi
before,
Germany. Yeah.
And that, not that exactly. And that was before we had instant gratification of notifications at our fingertips of anybody's opinion, including ours, being broadcasted to all 11 of you watching. That's right. There's 11 of you guys watching. I expect to see at least 9 likes.
At least.
At least. His own confession. Like, it happened, guys. And it sucks that Charlie Kirk was murdered. But it wasn't the Jews. You know, that's some neo-Nazi.
It's also like an easy out. Just be like, who's the fucking Jews?
The Jews. They've had it so good the last couple of years. They got ballistics, fingerprints, DNA on the rifle, clear personal political motive against Kirk's views. And Kent is under FBI investigation himself for alleged leaks of classified information, reportedly including material related to Iran and Israel. Critics say the timing makes this sudden whistleblowing look like retaliation or self-defense. I don't call it self-defense. It revives the classic tropes about Jewish Israel control of United States institutions, FBI, media, donors, policy. What did the FBI actually do? What did they say? Well, the shooting happened at on September 10th at 12:23 p.m. Single sniper shot from a rooftop 200 yards away. Tyler Robinson, 22, American from Utah, was in custody less than 36 hours later. His own family, father recognized him from the leased photos, turned him in. Evidence against him, multiple confessions he made himself and text messages to his romantic partner and roommate. A handwritten note left under the keyboard saying, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie and I'm going to take it. And additional messages explaining his motive. I've had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. DNA on the trigger of the rifle. He planned it for over a week, according to his own words. Authorities, FBI Director Kash Patel publicly described it as a lone gunman acting alone with a clear personal political motive. The case was quickly handed to primarily to the Utah State Prosecutor. So let's just look at that for a second. If I'm the FBI trying to hide the fact that Israel had Charlie Kirk killed, would I hand that over to a state agency?
No.
Not at all. They ain't getting shit. This is going to be a federal case because we're federal and Israel didn't do it. I mean, what?
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
a little bit
up.
of common sense sometimes. Like just reading in between the lines, because it doesn't make sense that the FBI would be hiding some international espionage where Israel had Charlie Kirk assassinated and let the Utah fucking state handle the case.
Right.
The FBI essentially said this is a slam dunk lone gunman case and handed it to Utah. FBI sources have pushed back, saying the overall investigation was thorough and exhaustive. They would pursue every credible lead, and there was no credible evidence of foreign involvement. Some reports note that the FBI continued looking at certain angles, e.g., possible domestic extreme ties, but the core case remained a straightforward murder prosecution. Because this is what Joe Kent said, the FBI shut down foreign leads immediately. They didn't shut down anything immediately. They solved the whodunit part in under 36 hours with overwhelming direct evidence from the shooter himself. Later, weeks afterward, there was a bureaucratic turf war. Kent wanted the NCTC to keep running foreign intelligence angles, but the FBI said the case was domestic and didn't see a strong enough reason to keep a parallel federal intel probe wide open while the criminal case moved forward in Utah court. No public evidence has ever emerged linking any foreign government, Israel, or anyone else to the shooting. The shooter is an American with a documented personal grudge. That's why he killed Charlie Kirk. It wasn't Mossad.
Right. Yeah. What's going on with that trial? Either.
I don't know. Look it up. That's actually a good question. I know that they're trying to do some procedural bullshit and get it like dropped, if I remember correctly. All right, so last thing we're going to talk about is how Israel controls the USA. I feel like that's a good tie-in to all this last bit of Joe Kent saying that the Israelis call us goys, or maybe you're just a fucking idiot. If you believe somebody with the GDP of like Iowa
Of Iowa, huh?
can control America. I'm sorry, the GDP of Utah.
There
That
you
would have
go.
been the better joke. All right. So there is no credible evidence that Israel controls the United States. Claims of outright control are long-standing anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, often called the Zionist occupied government, or ZOG. Whenever you get whatever you're looking up, let me know and I'll let you jump in.
There's really nothing going on with it.
Okay. Which falsely portrays Jews or Israel as secretly puppeting American institutions, media, finance, or foreign policy. The trope dates back to forged documents. Forged documents. Look me in my eyes. Forged documents.
Forged.
Like the protocols of the elders of Zion. If you're reading stupid shit like that, you're a fucking idiot. You're probably a neo-Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
You also probably use The Onion as your news source. And has been repeatedly debunked by historians and scholars. It simplifies complex geopolitics into a scapegoat narrative and has been used, oh my God, by neo-Nazi extremists on both the far left and far right. I have an argument about far right neo-Nazi extremists. It's in the fucking name, the Nazi Socialist Party. Just saying. And figures like Joe Kent in recent comments. That's what Grok said.
Yeah.
By the way, most of our data comes from Grok. I picked that very specifically because it's a very left-leaning AI. Most of the stuff you look at, it tries to shit on Trump and like be pro whichever leftist propaganda
Yeah, it does too.
at that fucking point. And so that's why I like to use Grok. And when Grok is telling you this, you're full of shit.
Yeah. Because usually they're pretty liberal. Grok is pretty liberal.
Grok would usually be like, oh yeah, bro, Israel controls America through CPAC or APAC or whatever the
dude.
fuck it is, dude. It's been repeatedly debunked by I already said all that. What actually exists is a strong alliance and influence lobbying, not control. The U.S.-Israeli relationship is one of America's closest alliances, driven by shared strategic interests, not dominated by Israel. And for all you fucking idiots out there that are like, well, why would we need Israel? Like, we're America. Have you heard of the Middle East? Would it not be pretty smart to have a well-armed ally in the Middle East?
Yeah.
Maybe some would say a strategic point in a place of contention. Somebody that would be like, yo, you're my dog. I got your back.
Got your back.
In
G.
the Middle East. I'm just saying, like, what do I know? I'm just on the shittiest podcast on Rumble. Military and intelligence cooperation. Israel is a major non-NATO ally. The U.S. provides $3.8 billion annually in military aid, mostly foreign military financing for Israel to buy U.S. weapons under a 10-year memorandum, 2019 to 2028, plus extras during conflicts, e.g., over 16 to 21 billion in supplemental since 2023. In return, Israel shares high-valued intelligence on terrorism, Iran, and regional threats, often described by U.S. officials as exceeding what many NATO allies provide combined. Joint programs include missile defense, Iron Dome, aerotech development, and exercises. Israel also buys U.S. arms and hosts U.S. naval visits. A lot of you don't realize that the Patriot missile system was originally designed by America for Israel, if I remember correctly. And we literally learned how to perfect it there because they were having missiles shot at them. And initially, the Patriot missile system sucked. It really couldn't hit the broadside.
That's why Trump wants a newer one, right? Because some still get through even with the one we got there now.
Yes. But the fact that it's as good as it is now is because Israel has missiles shot at them all the fucking time.
Well, that's the Jews that control everything.
Well, yeah, it's the Jews shooting missiles at the Jews. Yeah, it's definitely not the, I don't know, Muslims attacking anything that's not Muslim.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother podcast. Lobbying by AIPAC and pro-Israel groups, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, is one of Washington's most effective lobbies. It is a domestic U.S. organization funded by American citizens, not the Israeli government. With millions of members, it advocates for strong U.S.-Israel ties, spends $100+ million in recent super PACs, and has helped defeat critics of Israel in primaries. Its influences tone, aid levels, and resolutions does not control Congress or presidents. Other lobbies, guns, pharma, oil, Saudi Arabia, etc., operate similar to AIPAC, succeeds because broad partisan support. Critics, e.g., Marsheimer, that sounds respectably German.
Yeah.
And White's Israel lobby's thesis argue this influence sometimes skews policy too far toward Israel priorities, especially on Iran or aid. Supporters counter that it reflects genuine alignment, and U.S. presidents have overridden Israel's preference when needed, e.g., arms sales to Arab states, pressure on settlements, or intelligence disagreements. It's almost like we sold $120 billion worth of weapons to Saudi Arabia after Israel told us not to, or asked us not to, because obviously telling us what to do doesn't fucking work.
Right.
But, like, you don't get to sit here and go, oh my God, the Jews control us, when I can give you countless examples of how Israel was like, hey, can you not do that? We're like, yeah, no, we're going to fucking do that. That's what we're going to fucking do. Aid context. Oh, there is no secret cabal. U.S. decisions on Israel and wars diplomacy are made by elected officials, the Pentagon, the State Department, intelligence community, based on U.S. law, national security assessments. Israel cannot force U.S. into unwanted actions as seen in past disagreements, e.g. over the Iran deal that Obama had when Obama told Israel he was going to send him a pallet full of cash, which is probably why we're where we are right now, with them being able to shoot a ballistic missile 2,400 miles off their fucking border and hit places or have the capability to hit places like, I don't know, London, France. I'm not going to talk about anyone's underpants.
Right.
That's right. I did it twice. War strategy. Oh, yeah. So since 1948, the United States has administered $150 to $175 billion adjusted Now, what adjusted means, just in case you don't know, is back in the day when it was $100, but it was comparative to today's money, it would be $100,000. They counted that.
Okay.
All right, that's what adjusted means. But driven by Cold War strategy countering Soviet area threats and post 9/11 terrorist concerns. Here's a great quote. If Israel controlled America, U.S. policy would never diverge from what Israel wants. Joe Kent claims the Israel lobby pushed for the 2026 war via misinformation and blocked investigations. Fit the pattern. They frame legitimate debate over influence as centers to control, often without hard public proof beyond policy disagreements, lobbying, intelligence assessment, and presidential decisions ultimately drive the U.S. actions. It's not fucking Israel. And I don't understand. Like, I do understand. Kids are fucking stupid. They have the bleeding heart. I had one too. Like, I can't even fucking hide that. I used to be registered as an independent because, but the older I get, I agree with what Dan Bongino says. Republicans aren't the answer to all your problems, but Democrats are the cause. Democrats are the cause of open border. Democrats are the cause of Obamacare. Democrats are the cause of all the fraud in Minnesota. Democrats are the cause of all the fraud in California. All like Nick Shirley now showing all these fucking fake hospice places and shit like that. Like, those are all Democrats. You know, you want to know why we can't have the SAVE Act? Well, because Democrats want illegals to continue to be able to vote. Like, that's just what it boils down to. Let's see. Let's just get to some facts real quick because we've been sitting here just talking about Israel. Marsha. Where's my dollar signs, Greg?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is Trump starting a war or stopping a proxy war? The administration's view is this decision is a move to end a 47-year proxy war by destroying Iran's ability to threaten the U.S. and allies with nukes, missiles, and terrorist proxies. They argue decades of sanctions, diplomacy, and limited strikes failed, so direct force was necessary. Think about this. The last day before we struck Iran, the Iranian diplomat, I guess, I don't know what you would call him, walked in, said, we're not negotiating. We have enough material to build 10 nukes. You can shove it up your ass. Nuclear is not off the table. You're going to do what we want, or we're going to shut down the Strait of Hormuz. What the fuck was Trump supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
You're telling me you have enough nuclear material to make 11 nukes or 10 nukes or whatever it is. And just the other day, we saw that they could hit Paris or London. Could you imagine if they shot a tactical nuke at Dubai, at Paris? Although you made a valid point, they probably wouldn't shoot one at Paris. Getting a little Muslim-y.
It's getting a little Muslim-y there in London.
Well, London is pretty much Muslim-Azistan.
Yeah.
I just made that up, in case y'all didn't know. This is the first direct, large-scale, U.S.-led kinetic war on Iranian territory in history. But it needed to happen. They walked in and told us to fuck off. As a matter of fact, one of the things we offered them is if they shut down, and this is the stuff that you don't hear mainstream media talking about, if they shut down all of their uranium enrichment, they could have nuclear power plants and we would supply their fuel for the entirety of the duration that we're a country or they're a country. I'm just saying. Like, we
didn't
were
hear
give
that
them,
anywhere, yeah.
Like, they had no need to produce anything. We were going to give it to them. And they said, go fuck yourself. We want to nuke whatever we want to nuke. We've got enough to build bombs. Like, it is the ending of a 47-year war. Oh, yeah. So right now we've just put a 5-day hiatus on bombing. Now, my question with that is, did we really? Or is this one of those moments where we're just pretending?
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Did Israel?
I mean, yes, but
like,
did we?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they say shit all the time and then don't do it.
Convincing young people, especially Gen Z, that Israel does not control America is challenging because the belief spreads rapidly on platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube through short emotional videos that frame U.S. support for Israel as secret puppeteering, or that the Zionist occupied government series, which has its roots in anti-Semitic forgeries like the protocols of the elders of Zion, and has been promoted by neo-Nazis and others for decades. Did you hear that, Gen Z? Your book's a lie. It's a lie. And you're pushing neo-Nazi explanations for things.
Rhetoric, yeah.
Rhetoric. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. Clear and simple counterexamples. Every president since Lyndon Johnson has criticized Israeli settlements. The U.S. has sold arms to Arab states against Israel's wishes, pressured Israel on peace deals, while maintaining ties with Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and others despite issues. During the current 2026 Iran conflict, the U.S. is acting on its own perceived interests, countering Iran's nuclear missile proxy threats, not because Israel forced it. We're also stopping the country was building the drones for Russia, for the Ukraine war, and we're stopping about 16 to 18% of the oil flowing between Venezuela and Iran going to China. China was buying barrels of oil from Iran for $10 to $15 a barrel, while on the open market it was selling for $80 to $90 a barrel. U.S. aid to Israel at $3.8 billion is real, but a tiny fraction of the U.S. defense budget. Much of it must be spent on American weapons, which means we give them money, then they turn around and take that money and buy guns from us, or F-35s or whatever. But once again, that money is being pumped back into the American system. Trump, Biden, Obama, and others have all made major Middle East decisions that sometimes aligned or diverged from Israel preference. If Israel controlled America, there would be no variations. There would be no fucking points where America would go against what daddy said if Israel was America's daddy. Like, you can't be that fucking blind. Care about that. Top individual mega donors. Elon Musk, $291 million. Trump and Republicans. Mostly America PAC. Timothy Mellon. I don't even know who Timothy Mellon is. 197 million. Trump and Republicans. Baking air. Maral Alderson. 144 million. Trump and Republicans. Pro-Israeli casino billionaires. That's where it's at, Greg. It's the pro-Israeli billionaire casinos, or pro-Israeli casino billionaires in America that are the guys that are controlling America. APAC and pro-Israel PACs direct contributions. $5.4 million to candidates. This is wild, Greg. What? 2.8 million to Republicans, 2.6 million to Democrats. Must be daddy. Total outside spending. Super PACs like the United Democracy Project, 127 million. APAC linked groups, 126.9 million total, with heavy focus on Democrat primaries against Israel critics. APAC claims it backed 361 candidates with 53 million in direct support. APAC is already one of the largest single PACs with tens of millions flowing, 13.7 million in one Illinois primary. And here's the thing. Money does control who gets elected. It does. But at the end of the day, that does not mean Israel controls anything. Because by that same conversation, big pharma controls everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Pharmaceutical companies. Securities and investment, hundreds of millions in the 2024 cycle. Wall Street bipartisan. Pharmaceutical, 100 million, incumbents in both parties. Oil and gas, 50 million, heavy Republican. Real estate, 40 million, bipartisan. Pro-Israel, 127 million, targeted races. Union labor's high via Act Blue ecosystems, heavy Democrat. Tech and crypto, massive via super PACs, Musk and Coinbase. Act Blue Democrats raised 3.8 billion, win red Republican counterpart only raised 1.7 billion. Foreign countries cannot directly donate, but they can spend heavily on lobbying. $534 million, China. So we're run by China now. Japan, 467 million in contributions. Saudi Arabia, 391 million. And then we have Israel at 212. So if anything, I would say China's our daddy. I'm just saying,
China.
to sit here and say that a country that's lobbied 212 million is our daddy, but a country, two Asian countries that have combined for almost $1 billion in lobbying is not.
No.
Like, you're a fucking idiot. You've got to be dumb as shit. Direct foreign government donations to U.S. candidates or parties are illegal. It is illegal. Let's see. Anything else? Oh, dark money. That's what we're going to talk about. Now we're going to end the podcast. I don't think I can run an ad. Let me look.
I got 3 viewers.
Got a total of 11, so I was just hoping. Anyway. How dark money works in the U.S. Main vehicle, politically activated nonprofits, especially 501c4 social welfare organizations. These groups are allowed to spend money on politics as long as it is not their primary purpose. In practice, they can spend up to 49% of their money on elections. They can accept unlimited donations from individuals, corporations, unions, even foreign sources in some cases. And they do not have to discuss who gave it to them. You're right, Greg. Dark money's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's why I was. So they're funding everything.
It sounds like how the government runs with NGOs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can't look at this.
That's basically what that is.
Yeah.
That's what that 504 thing is.
50.
Whatever it just says.
Yeah, usually it's a 504 or
that's
whatever.
An NGO.
Yeah. Also, how some Gulf states or foreign-linked money can indirectly influence U.S. politics without direct illegal donations to candidates. Not all big spending is dark money. Super PACs like Elon Musk or Mirren Anderson's usually do disclose their major donations. Dark money specifically hides those sources. All right, guys, last thing I'm going to just reiterate one more time and just kind of go over is money once again. If Israel is controlling America, I lost it. Then why are they behind China, Japan? If money is what controls America, then how come China's not in control? Why aren't we hearing about how the Chinese are running us? $541 million a year annually versus Israel's 212 or the 439. Why aren't we saying, I mean, that's another small country, right? Japan's another small country. Like, why aren't we saying we're being run by the Japanese and all in upset in arms because they attacked us at Pearl Harbor when they've given us $491 million annually? Like, I guess once again,
it's not the cool thing.
Joe Kent's a liar. He resigned because he was under investigation and is trying to get ahead of it. Look that up because that's a known political move. I'm about to get busted. Let's see if I can make it look like I was the good guy.
Yeah. Oh, that's what he's doing.
That's exactly what he's doing. Israel didn't push us into this war. Iran did. And every day that goes by, especially after the Diego Garcia attempted hit, that's a place, not a person. I said that weird. The missile being shot at Diego Garcia, which is about 4,000 kilometers away from where Iran is, that was an eye-opener. And the fact that they walked into the last day of meetings with Donald Trump and said, and it wasn't with Trump, so understand I'm using that term loosely, but they walked into that last meeting and said, fuck you, we're not negotiating. I know you said you'd give us all the uranium we needed to run nuclear plants, but we don't want it. We have enough material to build 10 bombs, and apparently we have missiles that can hit London. So let's recap. Joe Kent's a liar. Israel does not control America. And Dilley, kids aren't there without their parents.
Yep. It's all propaganda.
It's all propaganda. And you can thank Obama for that. He signed some shit into law, and I don't remember when, that basically said you could propagandize the American people on American soil again. That's why we're where we're at. Anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure. I know we weren't here on Saturday, but I'm glad you were able to reach us. Thanks to the people that came back on to the second version of this one when we had whatever glitch where we had to just shut it all down and restart it.
Yep.
Ultramagnation, we're out.
Peace.